Hello, it's Ed Kirwan here. Thanks for dropping by. Just want to show you what we've been doing for electrical company in Cheltenham, in the Midlands of the United Kingdom of England. This is a video I did for them back in May, and this is on Google.com. When we looked on Google.co.uk, it was down on page 4, and it started to prove to be very difficult. However, since then I've done some more videos for them. Google, in their wisdom, have chosen not to give us a picture, although it was there the other day. But it is number 1 for rewiring in Blockley, which is a village near Cheltenham. This is the area that the client covers. Rewiring Cheltenham. The video is here, but it's right at the bottom. We'll see if we can work to get that one further up, but at least it is on page 1. That was 3 days ago. You have to do these all at the same time. Rewiring Gloucester. This time they've chosen to give us a picture. That one's gone up there. Interestingly enough, I put this in twice because the first search showed there it is with a video, with a picture. This shows 1,110,000 results, whereas this one shows 60,100 results. Quite why that is, I don't know. Stow-on-the-wold is another town in the area, and the video is there, YouTube, you can see there, 3 days ago, on page 1, again no picture. Cotswolds is another town, again they seem to have taken the image out again, but it's there, Cotswolds. And finally, Tewksbury, which is another town in Gloucester. So all in all, we've got 6 videos up there, all on page 1, whether with pictures or not, and that's what we've been able to achieve using the system that we're using. Okay, I hope that helps you, I hope it encourages you, and good luck in all your video marketing efforts. It's Ed Kirwan saying goodbye. I'll see you in another video. Thanks for listening.